Hello and welcome. Today we will be configuring DNS on a Windows Server 2019. So to start off with, we'll need to go to the Manage tab and click Add Roles and Features. Now we must click Next and Next again. We want to select the DNS. Now let's click Add Features. Now let's click Next and keep clicking it. Now we'll need to install DNS, so we want to click Install. This may take a while. Now then it's configured, we want to close the window. And it has been installed. So let's go to manageability and click that. Seems okay. Now let's click the Windows icon and type in DNS. Now let's open it up. Let's expand this. And as we can see, we're in the Windows. We're in the DHCP manager. We can see two things: forward lookup zones and reverse lookup zones. So let's add a zone. Let's click on this and click new zone. We want it to be primary, as it's going to be our main zone. Secondary zone is like a backup zone that exists on another server. It's like a former backup, just in case the main one breaks down on the primary zone. So let's click primary zone and let's name it. So let's name this. Let's just name this new zone as an example. New zone dot win 2K 219 YouTube. And let's click next. Yes, we want to create a new file as we don't have an existing one. Let's click next again. We would preferably like to click this, but since we do not have Active Directory installed, we'll just do without dynamic updates. And there we go, we finished it. Now we can see we have a new zone. So let's open this. So let's click here. As we can see, we have two. We have the name server, which shows us the name of the server and the IP address, which is our IP address of our server, since we want this server to be the DNS. If we go to general, it'll show us newzone.dns. Shows us that this is the DNS server. And if we go to start of authority, this is just proof of the server, that we own the server, and this is the original, not some spoofing, some server that has been spoofed. So let's create a new A record. So this will be like some subdomain like www. Let's not do it in caps. www. Let's point this to our server. So we want this to be our server's IP address. So for me it's 10.2.15. And if we type in, click add host, we'll create this. Let's click add host, and we have created it. We can see the new host here. We can ping this. If you go to our command prompt, type in cmd, click enter. Now let's ping www dot new zone dot win 2K19 YouTube. As we can see, we get a reply as DNS resolves IP addresses to domain names, as IP addresses are a lot harder to remember than just a name. Like when you go on YouTube, you don't type in YouTube's IP address. You type in the DNS record, a record, which is www.youtube.com, not the IP address of the server. We can see an example of this here. We can create as many A records as we want. So let's create some more A records of just random things, just to give you some examples. So let's name this shop. So this could be like our subdomain for a shop, and let's just name this the same IP address. A pointer record is a reverse lookup zone which does the opposite of what a normal DNS does. So it's like a reverse DNS. So it does names, well, IP addresses to names, or names to IP addresses, if you want to see it like that. So let's just click this and it'll create us a reverse lookup zone. Actually, we'll need to create a reverse lookup zone first. So let's click start and let's click primary zone, reverse lookup zone. We need to put in our network ID. So ours will be, well, mine will be 2. Yours might be something else depending on your IP address, which you configured through DHCP. Let's click next. Yeah, that will be ours, and our network ID should just be created automatically. Yes, that will be okay. We'll just leave this as a default, as it'll work. No, do not allow automatic updates. And now then, we created our reverse lookup zone directory. Now we need to create a pointer. So let's click new pointer and let's go to browse. Let's double click the server name and go to forward lookup, which is here, and let's go to new zone. Now we want to create a reverse lookup zone of one of these IP addresses. So let's just use www as the example here. This will create a reverse lookup zone which will be the opposite of DNS, so it'll be like in reverse. So let's click OK. Let's click here, and as we can see, it has been configured. So let's go here. Let's create some more. How about just rocky.ip.02.15 create. We create another one. So okay, we want to see if our DNS will work on our client device. So what we want to do is let's just check if our domain is, well, our DNS is set up right. So let's go to Network Sharing Center and let's click on Change Adapter Settings and double click Ethernet and click Properties. Let's double click IPv4, and our DNS is set to our server, which is important because this is the server we want to be DNS. Later down the line, we'll be configuring Active Directory, so we should be able to do dynamic updating. So since these are right, let's check this on our client device. So what we want to do is go to our client virtual machine. Now guys, we are on our client device, so let's see if we can ping the domain names. Let's go to command prompt and let's use one of the, let's use www, and what we'll need to do is go to our client device and put in this IP address. So let's ping www.newzone.win 2K19.yt. As we can see, we can ping this. So what we can do to verify that we have actually created this on the server, we can use a tool like NS lookup and put in the IP the IP address, well, the domain name. So let's put an NS lookup dot. Let's just use that one, and let's put new zone dot win 2K19 YT. As we can see the domain entries for this IP address. So let's say you don't want to spell the whole name out. So what we can do, we can create an alias. So let's go to CNAME and let's create an alias for shop. Let's say we're just a bit lazy and we don't want to type out the whole thing out. Let's put new zone dot win 2K19 YT. What this will do is create an alias for us. We can see we have an alias created for shop. And that is how you configure DNS on Windows Server 2019. If you have found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. It costs you nothing and it helps me so much. Thank you for watching this video.